I got a great question from a parent the other day. She asked how she could better understand her teenage son and then when to know to back off, when to know to help. So I think bottom line, her question really addresses how one can become just a more aware parent, a better parent, right? And that's great that she wants to know this because me being a parent of twin 5-year-olds, I'm always looking for ways as well to just improve, to just be better for my kids. So I love the question. Now, I've been teaching for almost 25 years, and for the last 15 years, I've been teaching kids who have a lot of challenges in school, from just purely academics, but most of it has to do with like aggression, violence, substance abuse, trouble getting along with others. And some of my students are in foster care. So lots of diversity in background, but really the same common problem is they struggle in school. But in generally, they also struggle in life. So now coming back to the parenting thing, is parenting is the universal thing, right? There are some basic concepts, and if I just had to boil it down to two main ideas around parenting, how to be a better parent, how to improve as a parent, one would be time, and the other one would be listen. So let me break those two down. First is time. You need to spend time with your kids. When they're little, it might seem a little bit easier because they're always around. So you think you spend time with them, and you probably do. When they get older, though, they have a mind of their own. They want to do things. They want to move away from you. They want to explore things. They want to be with their friends. They want to go out. So some of them may be in sports and all that stuff. So it might be challenging for you to lock down a time. So I think like with teenage kids, you really have to just schedule time together. And I'm not saying like 1 hour a month, but all the time. Daily, if you can get it, for at least 20 to 30 minutes. Sit with your kids, 20 to 30 minutes. No cell phones, no screens, no TV, and just hang out. Actually, the thing to not do when you spend time with your children is to ask them a bunch of questions and give them advice and pester them and dig and dig and dig. And just maybe do something like eat together or spend time just being in each other's presence. And I'm guilty of this to an extent too. Like when I pick up my kids, I ask them like how their day was, and generally most kids say, it was good. So tell me what was good about it. Oh, blah, 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 blah. They just start making up stuff because they don't want to talk about that stuff. But if I just sit in the car while I drive and don't ask any questions, my kids will start asking me questions. And then we have a conversation. It's not always that easy, especially with a teen, but just hang out with each other. If you don't know what to talk about, you know what they want to talk about. Start a conversation about their cell phone. Every kid wants to talk about their cell phone. Hey, how's your cell phone doing? Do you need a new cell phone? That's probably a little gimmicky, but you get my drift. Stop your line of questioning. I know you care. I know you want to dig and find out if your kid's okay. So spend time with your kids. Now, let's say you didn't get a lot of time with your kids when you were young or something, or you were really busy and you just want to make up for it, right? You want to make up time with your kids. It's kind of like a retirement plan. Like if you don't save X amount of dollars from the time you're like 25 or 35, by the time you get to 65, you're not going to have that much money. So if you start saving for retirement late, what do you have to do? Let's say you start saving in your 40s, you got to put a lot more in, right? So if you didn't put a lot of time with your children, whether you were working or you were away, now you have to put in even more time, and you got to find a way to do that. How do you spend time with your teens? Like if you're going through it, you can just take them out of school for a day. Go do something fun with them. And remember, no cell phones, no screens. Just go do something fun together. What do they like to do? Do they like going, take them to their favorite restaurant and just have some conversations that they want to have of the things that they're interested in. We all know what our kids are interested in to an extent. Just talk about that. Without asking too many questions, though. It's kind of like a fine line between asking the right questions and then asking too many questions. Please don't bring their friend. If you're trying to bond with your kid, you don't need another friend or another sibling to come along. This is like a date with your child. They always say like every couple needs a date night. Well, you need to date your children too. And that just basically means spend quality time with them. And it needs to be routine. I can't beat that in enough. Routine, not whenever you feel like it. It should be every single day you spend time with your kids, 20 minutes or so. Now, if you're stressed out, if you're overworked, you can only do what you can do. And doing something is better than nothing. So I encourage you just to schedule something ASAP and to try to do it routinely. My most interesting kids are the ones I spend the most time with, right? My students. I have some students I have had for over about 2.5, 3 years. And I get to really know and understand them. And they get to really trust me. And it took time to do that. Anytime I get a new student coming in the first few days, there's not a lot of interactions. There's not a lot of vulnerability. There's not a lot of exchange. They just have to feel me out. And I have to feel them out to see where we're at. And now, like, if they can trust me because they see others trust me, they hear the words that I use, they see my mannerisms, then we can actually get somewhere. Where it's the beginning of a relationship, right? A student-teacher one, a parent-child one. It all has its similarities. Humans earning trust with one another, being able to converse, and as an adult, maybe being able to guide and lead. Now, that's time. You need time with your kids. Now, the second one is listen. We need to listen to our kids. And what does listen mean? Well, there's this thing called active listening. And bottom line is active listening means you're completely present with them. You are not distracted by screens. You are not distracted by the stress of your own life. You can actually open up and talk to one another. You know, in 2025, active listening is like a superpower if you can garner those skills. Because we're distracted. We're a distracted society. Our kids especially are constantly on cell phones, so to get their attention can be a little frustrating. But you can only control what you can control. You got to control you. Your own cell phone usage, your own stress levels, so that you can be present with them. It's not really on them. It's on you to start this. You are the adult. You are the leader in the family. So you show them how to do it. And, you know, most of the time, actions speak a lot louder than words, right? But yeah, active listening. There is a technique that many people use, and that is when someone speaks something, to show others that you're actively listening, you repeat back 1 to 3 words that they say. So let me demonstrate that. If your teen comes to you and says, "Hey mom, can I go out?" You respond, "You want to go out?" And they'll say something like, "Yeah, you know, so-and-so is having a get together. I just want to go hang out." "Oh, so you want to go spend time and hang out?" "Yeah, I haven't seen David in a long time. I just want to go and see what's going on over there." "Oh, David will be there, huh? Okay, that's interesting." So this thing goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. the person, your kid feels like you're listening, you can actually have a real life conversation and it being impactful, it being a bonding experience. Because another way to say it would be like, it can be kind of controversial. It can be kind of what's the right word here? Like with conflict, right? Where, oh, you want to go out? No, man. The last time you went out, you didn't come back until midnight. I don't think so. That shuts down everything. Why do you want to go out? That seems a little aggressive. So just repeat back 1 to 3 words that they said, and go from there. It usually leads to a pretty good conversation. And the secret is you could do this in any relationship, right? The time, the active listening, it'll improve your romantic relationships, your work relationships, your friendships, and family relationships. So give it a shot. Time and active listening. Let's see what happens. All right.